This episode of Super Pulp Science is brought to you by the latest volume in the Laundryman series, Blood of the Saucerman. Book 2, coming to Kickstarter on February 2nd, 2026, and now in pre-launch, so you can go right now and sign up to be notified when the campaign goes live. Go to laundryman.ca.
Attention, citizens! It's time for Super Pulp Science!
This is Super Pulp Science, where we talk about how genre gets made. I'm here with my long-suffering co-host, Justin Curry, who is known the world over as Chasing Artwork. I am here with my producer extraordinaire and interventionalist, Dan Vadeboncoeur, who's told us, dear listener, that he wants to have an intervention on the show today, and he'd like to do it in the recording. So, I am Jimmy Kamichuk. I am here to be held accountable for something, but I don't yet know what.
This is all coming from a brief conversation I had with Lyndon on Instagram, because Lyndon posted something on Instagram. He tagged me in it, I believe.
Is this coming from a place of love or anger?
Love and frustration, I'll say.
Oh, okay.
Because
Like proper intervention?
Well, here's the thing. I have, over the last few weeks for this podcast, I have been endeavoring to cut promo clips for you guys.
Yeah.
And I've also been doing this for Jonathan, for his podcast. I've been doing it for pretty much every podcast I work on, because it's a very common marketing tool. You cut a little video of the video is kind of the main medium, but this is an audio podcast. I make videos out of the audio, and then I've been giving it to you guys. But I don't see those on your feed anywhere.
It's true.
Why aren't you posting my videos, guys?
Okay, well,
I'll go first because I'm easier.
Okay.
I'm dormant on social media during January.
Okay.
Because I've closed down my site and store, and I always kind of go quiet this time of year as just a kind of like mental relaxation vacation from posting on social media.
I want to unfold this like origami, though. You're more active on social media in general, though, and have always engaged more authentically, I think, with the platform of social media as a result of our age gap.
Okay.
Right? And I don't mean that like, because he's young, but because the tools available to him were new and interesting at exactly the time a young artist could find those tools new and interesting, whereas I was involved in a different career at the same time as developing my art thing. So then also doing social media regularly was just a bridge too far for the number of activities a person could take in a day, which is why I like blogging, because I could do it in the middle of the night and then post it when I please.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So that answers you. Thank you for asking the question. Why aren't you posting them, Greg?
Well, and this comes down to it, is that if the medium is the message and we do long form conversations, do short form clips of that conversation, do anything to bring people.
Okay, I think they do, because I've actually discovered a podcast or two from those little clips.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, as a personal example, I've definitely picked up a podcast or two from scrolling on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't have a strong intellectual argument against their use. I have a strong emotional argument.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I want to get at, is why you're feeling that way. I'm interested.
It's so, for the longest time, and I mean like a decade, like the longest time, I enjoyed the way that I could post an interesting thought or a piece of work in progress or a thing that I had done, like a diary, like replace that blogging element with social media, and it would become an interesting social record. And if someone was interested in following along and saying, how could I replicate this behavior? How could I learn from his mistakes? It's kind of how I would post. Here's some stuff I'm doing. Some of it didn't work. Some of it did work. Allah. Then as soon as the algorithm stopped posting things in order, posting what I was doing in order made no sense. And once it started prioritizing only for I'm being very denigrating, but it's okay, just for the sake of the argument. Once clickbait overshadowed content, then I had nothing worth contributing. because I don't tear down people's stuff on my, not that, and Justin definitely doesn't, but so this is his organic growth in that decade when you could still have organic growth. I couldn't ever achieve that, but I also wasn't really seeking it out.
Okay.
Because I was using the tool the way I wanted to use the tool, and now I'm being told how to use the tool. I really rankle against being told that I'm supposed to volunteer my time to this very needy, multi-billion-dollar platform.
Oh,
That
right.
my volunteer hours of the day should go to support the needs of a social media platform. I have a real hard time with that concept emotionally.
Okay.
And so I only post once a week, if that, maybe once every 2 weeks. So then suddenly we were having this conversation before you got here, which is, if I get all of these clips that you're giving and I just upload only those to my social media, I might as well change my social media name to Super Pulp Science.
Oh, okay.
Because it'll be the most content. It'll overshadow my regular posting, which is what prompted the question when you came here. Is like, should I have a TikTok that you manage, that is just these clips, as an experiment?
And that's a good question. I think there's a couple things going on here. I think that I think you are soured on Instagram. You feel like somebody who does not enjoy Instagram very much as a user.
Platforms.
Or in general,
concept.
You're not even a social media person.
Platforms
in general.
As a concept.
Yeah. Okay. Not even specific.
Emotionally detached.
Okay. So there you go. So that's an issue. So I guess because as an artist, I think, and just I'm thinking of other artists in a similar position to you who use Instagram in this way. They do use it as a way to connect with people, to let people know what they're working on, but also for a place for people to find them. And that's kind of the discovery of it.
Yeah.
Is the cool part. I feel like that doesn't happen on Instagram as much as it does on TikTok.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty stagnant pool when it comes to discovering new artists. And even like I'm becoming less and less, I'm more disenfranchised with Instagram these days because it feels like the people that I'm actually following are so buried underneath all the crap they're trying to feed me.
Yeah.
Even when, you have to now go to the top of the app and go to actually see your following, because otherwise it defaults to like sending you stuff it thinks you want to see.
I will say that I'd always typified how just like our generation gap, how Justin interacted with social media as an honest effort yielded an honest reward.
Mm-hmm.
And he would always put in a lot of work on it to like engage with it, but it was reciprocal.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was really cool. And I wondered, would that ever come again? Or is that just going to diminish? And greater minds than any of ours have studied this ad nauseum and have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're simply going to diminish, that it isn't going to ever be the way to reach an authentic audience ever again.
Okay. Yeah, because the time has passed, right? It was kind of this honeymoon period of like social media when it first started.
Yeah.
There was this time when everybody kind of cared about everybody else and what they were having for breakfast. And
the
things
community
like that.
seems small and cozy and connected.
And then we all kind of got sick of each other.
Yeah. And one of the way I heard it broken
the
down,
bots moved in.
That's true.
the bots moved in, but one of the ways. Now, I'm not in defense of the platform owners, but I understand this argument. And it's okay, by the way, dear listener, to understand somebody's argument that you disagree with. That's allowed. I know we're not used to that notion lately, but this is allowed. So the idea is that since only about 10%, I'm fudging the numbers, but this is, I would say, proportionally accurate, give or take. About 10% of people on social media post actively, and 80% of people on social media are lurkers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's sort of like a little small 10% that's in the middle of those two, that the only way to engage the majority of the lurkers is for them to be in control of the algorithm. Because everyone who has an account that is a lurker isn't posting regularly. So if they follow all their friends who also are lurkers, then they won't have anything to look at.
I don't think that generally happens. The lurkers are there to watch, and they follow people that are deliberately putting out content creators, as it were. That is the proper.
But that whole notion was propped up and propagated by the platform.
Yeah.
The notion of a content creator was like, oh, you're the one doing it. You're the one everyone should watch. Ergo, you're the way we can make money from advertising.
Yes.
The Facebook is cool. That's what it's got going for it.
Yeah.
You don't want to ruin it with ads because ads aren't cool.
Exactly.
It's like you're throwing the greatest party on campus and someone saying it's got to be over by 11.
That's exactly right.
And this media, this platform has exploded in popularity because of the promise of people being able to make money from this.
That's
And
right.
there's a very slim problem. Like, it's very, very... even the people I know who do make money from these platforms make very little. It's not like it can replace their
Not
income.
consistently,
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's true.
You can't count on it.
And even in Canada here, we don't make money from TikTok. We're not allowed to. It's a really issue. I think it's cool. TikTok, I think, is a completely different animal. I've to answer your question, yes. Well, I mean,
So
yes.
the people, again, the wiser folks who look at this, they look at the trend of how do you gather users,
Mhm.
and you gather users by promising your premise and fulfilling your promise.
Mhm.
And then immediately you start to tell advertisers that they can do the same thing. And then you make this system worse for the user and better for the advertiser in order to extract revenues.
it's the
And-
same formula.
I mean,
right?
that's we've seen that for a few different things. But I think that I mean, I don't want to like go on about how awesome TikTok is, but I can say that as somebody who
You're
used
having
to,
fun there.
I'm consistently for more than 5 years.
You're
I've
having
been
fun.
working, and I enjoy it, and I make content, and I get like, here's the difference between I was posting on both Instagram and TikTok, like all my videos for a while. Every once in a while, I'll post something there on Instagram, and you guys are the only ones who say anything to me about it. Nobody else, honestly, nobody else. You guys are the only ones who like those posts. You guys are the only ones who will talk to me about it after. Like, it just does not reach anywhere outside my sphere of influence. Whereas every single time I post on TikTok, I get a new person commenting. I got a new person
Is
subscribing.
that just the timeline, right? Because I remember a time like 10
That-
years ago on Instagram,
Yeah.
if I posted something,
You get
it would
500
Well,
likes and 200
But
comments.
because they changed, because so what Gregory is saying, they
Yeah.
changed it. It was like that, and they changed it. Right now, it's still like that on TikTok. So
Mhm.
Gregory's just afraid it's going to be changed.
No, not
again.
afraid.
Okay.
Certain.
Okay, certain.
I'm certain because I'm old enough to watch how history repeats itself.
I mean, I like to, yeah.
And so this is just, I don't want to put all that energy and effort into a thing that will inevitably change.
Yes.
I've been finding having a lot of success and a lot of fun on posting on Reddit.
Oh, like
Because Reddit is a big active platform with lots of little communities. So if you did something that was specifically vampires, there's a whole bunch of vampire groups that's what they're there for. And
Oh, yeah. You had the issue with the dinosaur thing recently.
Well,
Yeah.
I
Well, let's-
posted a dinosaur piece in the dinosaur subreddit and the
Right.
illustrator subreddit.
So let's
Did well in both.
Yeah.
Fun for other reasons.
frame this conversation. Let's frame this
just
conversation. No, constructively,
Okay.
because I hear what you're saying. Is that you're putting in honest effort and you want an honest reward for your effort. I only like putting in honest efforts where there is honest reward. So there's got to be a way we can triangulate all the things. You're having fun in the Reddit subreddit.
because it reminds me of what Instagram
This is
used
what I
to
mean.
be like.
And so anytime you're doing something for fun, that's your recreational time.
Yeah.
Spend it however you goddamn want. When I am doing stuff on Instagram, it is a chore. So now this is community service. But the community I'm serving is $1 billion corporation,
Oh.
right? So if I'm going to volunteer that time, I should probably help out at the soup kitchen in my neighborhood and actually have real results for those few hours a week that I spend.
Also, they're
Honest effort, honest.
they're different mediums as well. Like as much as I'd like to get involved in TikTok, I don't do anything video really.
Right.
Like I post images, I post process it, like pics of my images. Sometimes I do time lapse, but that's like 5% of my output.
This is a good time to bring up something we were talking about just before you arrived. Dan, you've got it. You've got an it factor that we don't have. I was talking about how when I watch your videos and I've seen your TikTok content and stuff, there's a ease, whether it's hard to do or not, it comes across as like a comfortable ease in front of the camera,
Yeah.
right? That
You would get it though. That's what I want to see that for you.
No,
that was a struggle to get there because I was not like, you go back in my feed, my early videos are rough. And that's the way it is for everybody. That's what I'm saying. Like we can,
did you have fun getting there?
yeah, for the most part.
I don't want to do that.
That's fine.
You know what you need to do, Gregory, is start with a canvas facing backwards and then
turn it around
I
slowly.
will fucking
What is this?
So
I've never
wanna
seen this.
drop
kick
kick
up
every.
this goddamn trend.
I want to drop kick everyone. I will describe it to you,
Yeah.
dear listener, if you're not aware of it.
Everybody listening knows exactly.
It is an artist that looks all like a little bit too sad, a little bit.
100 hours.
Oh, I worked so hard, and they're holding just the
Sleepless
back
nights.
of the canvas, and then they slowly turn it around to show their work to the world on social media. Why did they have to do this? Because you used to be able to just show the goddamn picture.
Yeah.
But now you have to do a dance for anyone to care. And the midpoint between a dance and showing the picture is a pirouette with your painting now. And I despise it. I despise
Really tired.
No.
It feels a bit overdramatic.
Do they love it? The ones that love it, the ones that have done it the person who invented that, right?
Mm.
More power to you.
Well, somebody like us who's like, I got to make a reel. Posting just a flat image doesn't get me anywhere. I got to make it a video somehow. How do I make this a video?
Ridiculous.
Okay, I challenge accepted. I would like to start a TikTok account.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, but for Super Pulp Science specifically, is that what we want to do? Is that,
I don't know.
you think?
My kids made this joke that what they should do is they should start a YouTube channel that makes fun of their dad's social media.
That's pretty good.
Right? They, as a semi-public figure, they're like, what we should do is, my oldest was saying, he was talking with my youngest, and they were talking, and they were like, yeah, we should make a YouTube channel where Dad posts a episode of Super Pulp Science, and we just make fun of him the entire time. And I said, you guys would be big for a little while, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun.
But then I'd get big for the wrong reason,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't like that either.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and just that right there, the idea of that's a really
Young
exciting
people
idea.
Talking old
for
people. Yeah.
20 posts.
Yeah.
But
Then
after
what?
that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Then they have to start being lingerie models. That's the only other way to continue the engagement.
is that an answer as well? Like every time we create a new book, should we be making like a new account for just
No.
the book? And
I I want to tell you guys about a creator I follow named Jason Pargin, Pargin. He is the author of John Dies at the End. Have you guys heard of that
Yes.
book?
yeah.
I think did we do a movie?
Maybe-
Okay.
maybe.
That's his only like
But he
big.
has a new book coming out.
Yes, he does.
And I will say this. Okay. I'm going to eat my own hat here for a minute.
It's a
That guy, I've seen his videos, and I find him hilarious and insightful. No idea he was an author until recently. He was like, oh, by the way, my new book is coming out.
Yeah.
But all I could think of is, I will hope you, like, this is my legitimate thought. I hope you spend as much time writing your book as you do on these goddamn videos that I see every day.
I think he does.
Maybe he does, but this is my poison.
I love these videos, man. I think that
I think he's great
what he does is he doesn't try and sell his product
at all.
ever.
At all,
Except every once in a while. It's funny. I was just telling somebody about him, and then the next day he posts a thing saying my new book is coming out.
Yeah.
But that's like few and far between. Most of them have nothing to do. It's usually like a very self-contained mini essay about something, usually about movies, but it's often about other things. Sometimes it's about TikTok, but it's like he talks about whatever he wants, and he just also happens to be an author. And I'm curious to know how much traffic he gets from his TikTok
I'm going to
account.
tell you two things from a place of skepticism.
Okay.
Don't know this for a fact. Don't know anything about him except tangentially the surface I know from social media. Okay. And I haven't read his books, but I know they exist.
Yeah.
My skepticism is as follows. He is traditionally published by one of the big publishers, and their advances are now predicated. Now, this part I do know for a fact. Their advances are predicated on the size of your social media following.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So he may have cleverly gamed that system, and he's one of the few people that pulled the slot machine, and it's going to work out for him.
Yeah.
But if you read his books, which I don't think are thoughtful, comedic hot takes, I think they're real books.
Right. Yeah. It's not a 1 minute movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you going to be disappointed? The example I will give you, which Cory Doctorow would mention his book, Enshittification, or his concept of enshittification is, are we going to reach a place where I read the book, I saw the movie, I saw the YouTube video, I saw the reel, I saw the TikTok 15 seconds, where people will say, oh, the book was better, and someone who sees the TikTok will say the reel was better, and someone who sees that says, no, the YouTube was better, and we have to go 8 steps before we even know it was a book that anyone was talking about? Like, what is the how far do those ripples extend before people are like, ripples. We only know about ripples, and they don't know anything about the rock that made it.
Right.
And there's a difference between being obsessed and being motivated.
Yes. There is.
Well, you do. That was cryptic, so you do speak in code.
I didn't mean to be cryptic.
I'm just saying I need to do something substantial in order to get the attention of the clubs.
Why?
Because they're exclusive and fun, and they lead to a better life.
I keep telling myself the like doing what we do with conventions, like that in-person interaction with the work, that is what that is the core, that is the pillar, that's everything. And all this social media stuff is just kind of like fluff on top of
That
those
one group of
interactions.
sisters, I'm just immediately, my mind went to that group of sisters that had the copy of Cassian Talk that was in tatters that came to have us sign it. And it was just like, they were all grown up now. Right? And they came to get it signed. They'd got it somewhere and it was just in pieces. Like the binding was broken. They read it. Like they said, we read it every day for years in our family. And like,
I'm pretty sure we sent them away with a fresh one, didn't
we gave them a new one, a new reader. And then, but I was so, even though I managed to be pithy in the moment, that interaction, it's literally why we're doing it, right? Is the one person who sees it for exactly what you meant it to be. They felt, when you and I had that moment in the restaurant, Cornerstone Restaurant, right? Where we went, oh my God, this will be so powerful if we do this. And we
the double page spread of darkness. And
we were both emotionally taken over by the concept we were laying out. We were like, whoa, can we do this justice? Those people connected to that moment, not to the book itself, to that part of us that was like really trying to get at what something feels like. And I just don't think that the ripple is the stone, right? Yeah. But it is true that it had to become all these other things before it reached them. But then they sought, exactly like you said, they sought the source, right? And now we're just so content with the ripple. I don't know what's going to happen.
So you don't like posting on Instagram?
No, I do like posting on Instagram.
Oh.
When something interesting happens.
Oh. Okay.
I wish it was called Instagram.
You do like that it's a part of your job.
Yeah. I don't want to post every day. And being told by the algorithm, like if you go into Instagram's
looks like
features.
You did a great post. Why don't you follow it up with another one?
It sends you links to ways you can work harder for them as a volunteer. That's how I think of it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm busy working hard at those moments that I just talked about, where I'm trying to find something real in the process of what I'm doing. And I don't want to interrupt it with, here's a video where I now go into, and the camera changes you, right, into on-screen mode while I talk about a thing that is inside mode.
I think a clip from the podcast gives people a sense of, that you have a podcast, because I think that a lot of people don't know that you have a podcast.
True, yeah.
So people who follow,
there's a lot of noise out there. You're trying to cut through it.
Well, just give people a sense, like if you want this podcast to exist as another aspect of your brand, so to speak, people know that's there.
That's not why I'm doing it. It's not for my brand.
Okay.
Fuck brands.
Okay. What do you?
Fuck brands. The emotion. This serves me. Every time we have a conversation where we say what stories are, a careful listener will notice I contradict myself regularly, because I am constantly moving the goalposts of what I think a story is as I explore it as a learner.
Okay.
It's not a hot
not a
take.
Brand.
These are not goddamn
I said
hot
the D
takes.
word.
These are development. They're developing ideas that we're recording.
Okay.
That is where I'm at.
I would like to let more people know about it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, in your intervention, now I'm being very. This is a good intervention because I'm defensive.
That's okay. I apologize.
No, this is good. Honest effort, honest
Good.
reward. So I want to hear that you find it fun. That's honest, and you want to have a reward from that honest effort. And I want to help you. So in this bond, the three of us together, trying to do better at what we do, we asked you in the very first episode, how do we do a podcast? Yeah. So it'd be disingenuous for me now to say to you, no to every idea. That's foolish. You know that world better than mine because you swim in it. I'm standing on the shore going, I don't want to get wet.
That's true.
So that's not actually, it's not
a
real criticism anymore because I'm no longer participating.
And I have to be honest, these videos aren't completely wasted because I am uploading them to Spotify.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The Spotify created a while ago. They had this little feature that says clips. They only let you put one per episode,
Right.
but it'll just be a little like, here, upload your video here. And honestly, it looks just like a copy of TikTok and Instagram Reels. They just want to keep doing the same thing. They're all trying to copy each other.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be in places where people are. And I think a lot of people still use Instagram. I think it's a part of a lot of people's daily routine is going on there.
Well, having these clips, like, because I want to say like last year, the year before, I posted like at least once, twice a month about Super Pulp Science.
Yep.
But it was just the logo.
Yeah.
And like a little talk about it. But then you'd have to go to my homepage, follow the link, go to my
there's a lot of
in my
steps.
website, and finally, like it was not easy to get to from Instagram. But at least with the audio clip, people are getting an idea of what it is. And if they really like it, they will take those 2 or 3 extra steps to actually get to it.
Yeah.
I agree with you both in principle.
Okay.
The practice I find difficult to carry out.
You need an AI assistant.
No, we do not.
Yeah.
And by the way,
However-
that's all being shoved down our throats on Instagram as well, right?
Yeah.
But I will say this. I'm not against some of your efforts that you have here going there as an experiment. And if it turns into, and it's fun, then follow it. And if it's, what a chore, then don't follow it. Like we're all essentially been continuing. How many episodes of this show have we done?
326.
Oh my God. Okay. See, the fact that I didn't even know that tells you how little of my brand is invested in it.
Okay.
That's a self feature for some other people. Because I went to this other podcast event where they're like, most people who start a podcast don't make it past 10 episodes. And I was like, what? But it's so
I heard
easy.
that. I heard somebody said once you hit 300, it gets a lot better. I'm like, I don't know if that's true.
You're right.
I think a lot of people start podcasts and expect it to be popular right away, and it's not going to be.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, like that. So they get
But
disappointed and
anything
discouraged,
you
and they
do
stop.
for the popularity.
It's
Don't.
doomed from the beginning.
It's doomed from the beginning. I look forward to what we're going to talk about, when we
Facility,
record.
horror movies.
right?
Under
But
the
here's
sea.
why. My week is quite inundated with a bunch of varied tasks. One of the metronomic events in the week is that for 1 hour, we're going to talk about something and we don't know what it is before we start. That's important to me. That I have an unscripted, contrived hour of our creative process. And so we get people on and we'll invite guests, but even the guests, we will tell them, as you know, before the recording starts, we have no agenda. It's not live. If you want to re-say something or if you feel like you've gone up, we'll edit it around it. It's not a big problem. We're here to explore whatever idea comes up.
And promote Squarespace. Build your website.
No, exactly. See? And that metronome has been really important for me. And that's why I don't quit.
You did it. I knew you did it. You planted that story about the chicken.
I didn't plant the story about the chicken.
What's he talking
You
about?
had me accused of animal cruelty.
Seriously, what the hell's the chicken?
And I'll bet what you hated the most is that they identified me as a co-founder of Facebook, which I am. You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm not coming back for 30%. I'm coming back for everything.
This never has felt like a chore. Not once in 326 episodes I've been like, fuck, gotta do a podcast today because it's my job.
Yeah. That's right.
And we're also rare too. I keep everyone's like every 2-3 months, I will scour Spotify and Apple Podcasts for stuff similar where it's creatives just talking about like being creative. And it's either just like comics or talking about comics or comic movies. Like there's not enough of us doing this.
So we could get in the comic space, because I follow a few of these things and I watch. We could get really big really fast because it's been a repeated pattern that others have used by looking at previous content and giving our opinion on published books that have big followings.
Oh, yeah, no.
Here's our review of
And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not even-
Ultimate
I mean, that's kind of
Spider-Man.
what I do on TikTok, but that's
Right.
for movies.
But that's a different thing because movie reviews are legitimately part of the culture of movies.
Yeah.
Right? A hot take on a movie you saw is part of its culture. Right? that now is being pushed into these other formats, and I see people like taking their favorite run of Chris Claremont's X-Men, and they just do a deep dive on it, and it gets 100,000 subscribers without any real nuance. They're just looking a panel at a time at someone else's hard work, and it's not that hard to look at someone else's hard work and have an opinion.
Do you want to do that for 300 episodes?
I don't.
No.
No. And we occasionally will pull up other people's hard work in our normal conversation, but it's not the calculation. And I've seen the behind the scenes, I've talked to a few people who do that and they're like, well, the trending book is this, so we're going to pick these books that are eventually will seem like, oh, what a surprise. This is the origin story of Kitty Pryde. I didn't know that. Yes, they did. They planned that from the beginning as they're turning pages, right? Doing it for the clicks. Well, it's not fun. Where's the fun in that?
That's true.
Right.
So what would you be, if you were to start now, say you were just starting out now as an artist and you have this current slate of platforms available to you, where do you start? Like, where do you go? Like, do you bother with any of them or what?
Well, I have, what's interesting is I have two smaller versions of myself at home that are both smarter than I ever was.
Okay. Isn't that cool about kids?
Yeah.
They're little versions of yourself.
But they're smarter, right? They're better than you. Right?
That's true.
That's the weird part. And they're not interested in social media really at all.
Yeah.
Right? And their interest is in the content that is created. Like, okay, so here's a real specific example. Discord is a social media platform, and you can follow people on Discord, and you can get involved in conversations on Discord. But my oldest, when he is involved in Discord, it's searching for answers about certain codes and things that were used in the creation of content that he enjoys. He's big into how a certain era of video games was created and how that code was created. And so Wikipedia doesn't have any answers for him because it doesn't dive that way. YouTube is too full of people's opinions and not actually the people doing the work. And Discord has more of a community of the people who are doing the actual labor of the coding, sharing how they've done it. So in searching the people out, going to the rock and not the ripple, that's where he went. So I think that if I was developing now, wherever the rock was and not the ripple would still attract me.
Okay.
Right. And right now that's, as it's always been, in person. But
so can I ask you this? When you guys do shows, do you get like a surge of followers on your platforms?
I only get Horizon followers after physical events.
Yeah. So if you go to Comic-Con or like San Expo.
So, and part of the reason for that is pre-COVID, you'd hand out cards with the thing. And then everybody kind of got trained on QR codes during COVID. And so there was a definite difference. I found like earlier shows, I would print like 500 business cards per show, and I would hand out 300 to 500 business cards, and I'd get 20 new followers.
Yeah, keep in mind, dear listener, he's been at this for decades. So we're talking about that age where business cards were a thing. Yeah. We know that's over now. It's okay.
And it was like kind of you had to have a business card. And then after like a couple of years of this, I stopped bringing business cards, and people kind of give you like guff about it because they want a free thing from your booth. It's like, oh, no business cards. And so I started saying like, take a picture of the booth and like, I'm chasing artwork, search that, you'll find it. And now it's QR codes. So you're getting like, people will do it in person at the booth because they can do it in 2-3 seconds. Whereas before, I guess people would go home with their stack of business cards and only follow or look up people that they really wanted to. But
do you have a QR code on your banner?
I have it on a bunch of different things on the booth.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a QR
not
code
on the banner, but on right at
somewhere. Like they could just go like that.
I don't use a QR code that way. I have, I always say, like in the booth. This is again because I don't like that part of the medium. What do I like? And my work. This is horribly close to brand territory now, but my work lends itself to a certain aesthetic from which the 1800s to the early 20th century is a part of the graphic design. And so newspapers make sense. And so I have a broadsheet newspaper called the Midnight City Late Edition. And when people say, "Do you have a business card?" I say, "No, but I have an evil newspaper."
Well, that's a good one.
And it's the same reaction every time. What? And and I hand them this big broadsheet folded thing. Here you go. Do you want one? But only if they've asked.
Yeah.
I don't have a stack out for people. If they ask they really want to follow you. Here you go. And it has excerpts of all my late edition, because it's excerpts of my favorite dead horror writers.
Oh.
And so public domain excerpts are allowed. Everyone can, so I can take a little piece of it. I formatted it like a newspaper of horrible events, and it's just excerpts of these great works of literature, giving credit to all the writers. So that if someone goes, wow, that little blurb of writing is incredible, they can go look at the stone and not the ripple. I'm the ripple in this case. And people always ask me too, where do you get your ideas? What's in the public domain? Is that your guy, or is that
sign up for my newsletter and you'll find out?
Yeah. But I don't do that. I say, here's a physical newspaper. That newspaper includes a QR code that goes to my website, but doesn't say that's what it does. Right? It's actually, and I have one for Super Pulp Science. I have a little ad for Super Pulp Science in there too. But I have that ad next to an ad that says, protect your intellectual property for just $5. And it's a picture of a gun that you can order by mail. Right. And so they all seem like fake, weird ads. Okay. Right. I have a vampire repellent ad on it that is just a picture of a steak, so it's mixed in and among
it should be
all these things that absolutely aren't real. Make friends at the Renfield Club. Right. I have a little Lonely Hearts ad. Right. And what I've found is that time and time again, as I visit back to these cities, I've found out by accident the number of people who have shown me framed pictures of that newspaper I gave them in their house.
Oh.
They put it up like an artifact of a bygone era because, number one, it's interesting. I spent a lot of time designing it. Worked with editor Emma on making sure that I didn't screw up any of those polls.
Did you do a 2025 version and now going to do a 2026 version?
So originally the plan, since you asked, the original plan was to do the monthly.
It's too much work.
But then I realized that different cities have different vibes.
Yep.
And different shows are so many days long. So if I have a 2-day show or a 3-day show or a 5-day show, right? So now what I do is I bring a different edition for the number of days long the show is.
Oh, okay.
And so if you come on the Friday, it's different than if you got it on the Saturday and then on the Sunday, and I remix them. And I have about maybe 25 total. And I just slide the content around and have fun with the graphic design. Every time I think of another great excerpt, I add it in, and now that's how I redesign them. And so if someone read it and enjoyed it, I'll never know. And I don't want to know. The same way I don't want the book I opened up to inform the author that I'm reading it.
Okay.
That's just me emotionally. That's the architecture I have.
We don't need
analytics.
Well, that's what that is, right? But it's you everyone wants this immediate.
I don't need that gratification.
Gratification, yes, that's right. Yeah. You need to get confirmation that people are consuming your product, right? That's what they're looking for.
Mackie. Yes, sir. Refresh. Sweet. And you're not a hugger. I know. 1 million.
So I have a number of newsletters. I think we talked about this before, maybe not on the podcast, but you subscribe to newsletters, right? You've got a few.
Occasionally, there's a few.
I've got a couple as well.
I try to keep the number of newsletters that I subscribe to one hand.
Oh, good.
So chasingartwork.com.
Writing the wrong way.
Right. I actually don't subscribe to either of yours. I don't. No, because I'm here. So
before
I know
anyone
what's in them. But a good example of one which I get very rarely is the Ashley Wood art.
So when you actually get it, you're excited.
It's about a real announcement, about a real cool thing that he's not going to tell me about twice.
Okay. Yeah, and so he just does it whenever again, same reason you post to Instagram whenever something interesting is happening.
Yeah. It's the difference between news and noise, I think.
The algorithm would encourage you to do that weekly, if not bi-weekly, to keep people engaged.
Now, everyone has different games they like to play. And I think we have to recognize that social media is a video game. by its basic definitions of like you're keeping track of your points, you're logging your hours, you're trying to level up, all this. It's just it's a gamification. And people who like to play that game and are enjoying themselves, by all means, right? Someone made a platform that you like, play on it. As soon as it starts, abusing you, maybe think twice, maybe read as soon as a platform does not allow you to opt out of any of its problematic parts, you should maybe ask yourself about that platform.
There's a lot of people on YouTube right now who are panicking a little bit because the platform has been just like, it's overflowing with like AI slop. And
Is it?
Yeah, there's all these companies, all these content creators that have put their entire lives into the platform of YouTube and are worried about its like stability right now, because if it's more and more this, like AI crap and created content, the less and less people are going to be engaged and watching and stuff like that. But that idea of putting all your eggs in the one basket, because if that basket suddenly changes its, user agreement and algorithm, and now you're completely screwed over as to how it operates. It doesn't operate like
I think of a good basket analogy. If it became a basketball basket, right,
So-
with a hole in the bottom.
There's a couple of things this makes me think about related to your question. And it is, number one, I think it's important, dear listener, that whether you believe me or not, you should ponder the following idea: that there is no such thing as corporate goodwill.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Corporate goodwill is how they advertise to you something they need you to do. And whatever they're saying, oh, we did this for you, we heard you, we've listened to the... No, that's not it. If you see something advertised, period, it's because they want more sales on that thing. It's not because it's already famous and good. And we're in an era right now where we can no longer differentiate between the promotional cycle of something and its actual cultural relevance. So like you will see people responding to a movie that's out. It's only been out for 3 days, 4 days maybe. And they have their entire discourse about that movie presented to you. And that's a review, theoretically. But if you're still in the promotional cycle of something, that is not a review. It has to have lived in culture in order to be reviewed.
Yeah.
You're talking about those, like the movie has come out and then those commercials immediately come out with the review.
The review.
5 stars.
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah,
Rolling Stone.
that's not a review. It says review, Rolling Stones 5 stars. That's part of the promotional cycle.
Those they didn't pay for their tickets, those people. It's like,
A good example that we've used here that is a real review is The Thing. Crushed at the box office, didn't do well. Reviewers at the time said it was bad. Reviewers at the time said it was bad, too violent, too gross, too this, too that. The culture that consumes it now recognizes it as way ahead of its time then, and an insurmountable event in film culture, right? That no one saw coming, and that's why they didn't like it.
Mhm.
And so that's what a review is later. Anything that you read as a review, well, it's the promotional cycle, can never be an honest review. And so we're in this thing where what I don't like about Instagram is I'm doing I'm in a promotional cycle for my own life now. Ugh.
Yeah. It's funny. I think I'm noticing a trend with Hollywood, and I'm going to try and just kind of keep it on and see if it plays out. But I think Hollywood is pulling back on its advertising dollars, because I'm not seeing ads for movies. Like there's that big Avatar movie. I think it's still in theaters, but it's like I'm not seeing any ads for it anywhere, right? So they're just like counting on people to go.
Notice I saw about it, the biggest piece of news I heard about it was once it crossed $1 billion.
Okay, I still don't know anybody. Except you saw it, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, you saw it. He's the only person I know who's seen it.
But do you see
But-
the problem here? You're right.
Yeah.
The only thing that was newsworthy was how much money it made.
Yes,
How is that
but
part of a cultural discussion?
what I think the strategy is, not necessarily for Avatar, but I've seen this for the Anaconda movie, the one that came out recently with Jack Black and Paul Rudd, and I'm seeing it again for the new Netflix film, The Rip.
I watched it.
Did you?
I did watch
Okay.
it.
The Rip.
Yeah.
Give me a hot take.
What is
Okay,
the
so
Rip about?
Here's my hot take about The Rip. The reason I watched it is because all of the crew get profit share.
Yes, that's one of the things I saw. But
One of the promotion now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, dear listener, because this is still the promotional cycle of the film. And so Artist Equity is the company run by Matt and
Ben,
and they own the movie, and their claim is they made a deal with Netflix. And I can only say claim because I haven't confirmed it. I'm not saying they're lying. I'm saying it's their claim that all 1,200 members of the crew will get a bonus based on how it performs. And that's how they're being paid. Everyone's getting a
Netflix
share of the
never
back end.
shares how things
not
do.
externally, but they will
Not
internally.
externally, but in the background.
I'm just wondering, what is the profit sharing on Netflix? Because Netflix makes money from their subscriptions. They don't make money per movie.
No idea. Okay. No idea. That's why I think it's a weird thing. Like, that's why I watched it, because I was like, oh, cool. A movie where the people who were making it knew while they were making it that they would get a piece.
Okay, but was it a good
Will
movie?
that show up on camera? That's why I was thinking, like, will that feel present, not in the performance of the stars, but in the production design?
And would you recommend it?
If you like procedural crime drug dramas, it's a great movie.
All right.
If you're hoping to have your mind absolutely blown by a procedural cop drug drama, I think maybe you've come to the genre with the wrong expectation.
Okay, and is part of what you're wondering, Dan, like what you're saying about like them pulling back on advertising dollars, because the second a big movie drops, every content creator is going to talk about it.
Yes, but also what they are doing is they're getting their stars out to do all the little fun shows.
Mostly podcasts.
Podcasts, hot ones.
Yeah.
This thing where they have to eat some weird food, and they're going to go and do. And so I've seen Ben and Matt do it. I've seen Paul Rudd and Jack
And they
Black.
talk about the movie. They just be themselves.
Exactly.
quote, unquote.
They're doing the Jason Pargan thing. They're just getting content out there to let people know, oh, they have a new movie out. That's
But
it.
dear listener, they're not being themselves. They're being camera versions of them. These are pros like this who have done the circuit, right? There's a clip of good old Ben. He's always so honest when he gets worn down, right? Where he's being asked, like, have you ever been involved in a bad movie? And he's like, oh, yeah, plenty.
You're asking him that?
And you get involved in the movie and you have to put in these long days, and then you got to go do the circuit. And he raises his hands like this, like you got to go do the circuit, and you got to pretend like it's the greatest thing that ever happened, right? They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're going there to put the spotlight and hope it works. They're pulling the slot machine cord like everyone else. There is no sure way to do it, or they wouldn't change how to do it.
Relationship status. Interested in. This is what drives life in college. Are you having sex or aren't you? It's why people take certain classes and sit where they sit and do what they do when at some center, that's what the Facebook is going to be about. People are going to log on because after all the cake and watermelon, there's a chance they're actually going to get laid. Meet a girl. Yes.
Yeah, and you're right. There's a lot of luck involved in this. Like, I think the reason I have been, like, I've got a number of followers, 15,000 followers on TikTok. It's a good amount. It's luck. It's all luck. It's just, I posted videos, the videos went viral, and people saw the video and followed me, and that's it. That is what everyone's hoping for when they post. Every single time they post to Instagram or TikTok, that's what they're hoping for. It's not going to happen. It's very rarely going to happen. And
if you get it to happen, can you get it to happen again?
No.
And again and again?
No. And they try to repeat it, and that doesn't work either. So they're always chasing this. They're chasing the virality, I guess, is what they're doing.
Well, and if you go looking, you can, dear listeners, you can go check my facts. But if you go look at the people who work at all the casinos, right? They all also work for the social media companies hire those same people to design the way that you use the app. Those people
keep you on it, yeah,
for a long time in the casino world. So it's just, this is what I'm emotionally responding to.
I agree, and I honestly understand, Gregory. I apologize. I didn't understand. I didn't know.
You didn't know how it.
I didn't know how you felt. It was like.
But here's what's true about this moment. Your honest effort, you're wondering why it's not being received in the spirit it's given.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I think that's what it comes down to. Is you're having fun. You're like, well, why don't you play with my toys, Gregory? Like, let's just come over and play. Like, come on.
I think there is value in creating a specific account that will post clips from this podcast and maybe other podcasts that are related to this, or any other, maybe other things you guys are on could be a part of it, that people can just get a sense of what this is all about and then listen to it.
Just blow up about brands. That should be the clip.
Oh my
That's,
God.
I'm going to, but
No, you see?
But here's the thing: taking that out of context, taking that one thing out of context will enrage. It's called rage bait for a reason, and it will get people interested. It will.
Gregory hates brands.
It will, and I tell you, one of my most viral videos is people arguing in the comments about a Scottish sitcom, or an Irish sitcom rather, Mrs. Brown's Boys, and whether or not it's good. And that's like, seriously, that's all that was, is it blew up the video. Another video I'll tell you that's going viral right now that I have is my review of the 2020 film Greenland, which has nothing to do with the movie review.
So there's a second one coming out.
Yeah, there is I kind of want to watch it, but I did watch that movie a while ago. I did a run of like end of the world movies, and that was one of them. And it did well, but since all the stuff that's been happening about Greenland in the world,
because the hashtag is
that it's blowing up because of that. It has nothing to do with anything I'm doing, but it's funny.
the world's dumb.
So here, the world's done. Here's my concern with, like what you said. It's like, oh, pull that clip up. It's owning a China shop and advertising only to bulls.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
We do
long
discussions where we look at, and we're by no means even qualified to have these discussions. These are just our thoughts presented, and we range all over. And sometimes by the end I go, you know what? I'm wrong. Right? But that is not what a person attracted to the hot take is coming for.
Sure.
And so advertising the China shop only to the bulls doesn't make any sense to me. Now, does it make sense for traffic? Yes, but we're not also looking for advertisers who only want to sell to bulls.
And you're also not trying to make money off these platforms either.
That's right.
Okay.
So these aren't, this is not in my wheelhouse. Now, I will say, when we attract real listeners, you, dear listeners, you know who you are. We love you, and we've had interactions with you, real long-form interactions with you, and that's who.
It's been the best part about this podcast is going to Montreal and Ottawa and Toronto, and people coming up like that you've never met before.
Yeah.
I listen to the podcast. Keep doing what you're doing. Like, that is the coolest.
Or it's saying like, yeah, I also have felt that way, and hearing you screw up and then try again, and then screw up and then try again, and screw up and try has made it easier for me to screw up and try again.
Or I completely disagree with your review of the Calgary Comic-Con. You guys are wrong.
Yeah, that guy. But that was great.
That was awesome.
Because it wasn't an inflammatory reaction. It was a thoughtful point-by-point breakdown of
it was a discussion.
It was
discussion.
Yeah. Okay. It was, I know this is a strange word these days. It was a discourse. Wow. I'm looking for discourse in the world. I love that about the original time in social media where you could get involved in a discourse with strangers. Now you just have disagreements with strangers, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
So all this to say, in the great experiment of someone who knows what they're doing, who's swimming in that lake, I think it'd be worthwhile to start a Super Pulp Science TikTok and see if, with a wider net, with a platform that's still in its honeymoon phase, can we attract real listeners?
Now watch it just get completely changed next month.
Right? Yeah. Next month we'll be like, this brought to you by the new protein shop. Stick it in your eye and see clearly. Right?
No, it's good though. I think so. We'll
try an experiment.
But I respect what you're saying about the bull in the China shop. I'm not going to try and cut the bull out of this, so to speak. But I do want to, and honestly, I think it'd be cool if we can make video content, but taking audio from this podcast and pairing it with your artwork or with things that you guys have in which you're talking about it, right?
But wait, we sit next door. Our studio is right next door to a social media marketing firm.
Oh yeah,
right. And I know for a fact
most of my former students were right there.
They would say you got to A/B test it. So I will give you this permission on your TikTok. By all means, make a bull, right?
Yeah,
and make a China shop, and that'll be the experiment, which we'll discuss what happens.
Sounds good,
right? Because we are in control of that content, so we get to decide what we do with it. So we can, for science. We will do this.
YouTube lets you do A/B testing.
Yeah.
So maybe
this will be our Super Pulp Science. This will be the science portion of it.
Okay.
Dear listener, Dan came to have an intervention because he had been doing honest work, producing stuff to promote the show. and wondered why only some of us at the studio were using it and some were not. And rather than post an angry video on the internet about how his people at his workplace don't appreciate him, he decided instead to turn it into a long-form conversation for your entertainment. But if the medium is the message, this is the place for that conversation. This is what I want. I want to be able to respond with some nuance and to be able to say with certainty and honesty, I don't know what the best thing to do is. It's an emotional argument, not an intellectual argument that I'm responding to. And in a world where our emotions are constantly being used against us right now, I think it's an important time to go, whoa, where are my ideas coming from and why? Okay, so I've appreciated this conversation, Dan.
You too.
Yeah.
And I look forward to the science portion of Super Pulp Science.
Hey.
All right.
So follow us on TikTok at Super Pulp Science.
There you go.
I'll put the link in the show notes.
This has been Super Pulp Science, where we have talked about how Gregory gets mad at social media and also how comics get made. I'm encouraging you to join the fight and make comics.